Today I've got a review of the Xtar VC4 battery charger. And here's the unit itself. I just wanted to show it quick. It's a pretty decent sized unit. It will fit a ton of different size batteries, as you can see, and I'll go over more of that here. And here's the unit itself. All four of these are springy to accommodate different cells. Cells 1 through 4 are wider to fit really wide cells like Ds or their lithium equivalent. And the two center cells are smaller to fit AA's and cells like that, 18650s, stuff like that. So here's the box. One thing that bothers me is their Xtar's slogan here, which is China's got quality. Why that concerns me is if you know anything about counterfeit batteries and chargers and things like that, China doesn't have quality. But in this case, Xtar really does have it's a quality brand and one I think you can trust. So the Xtar VC4 has some neat features here that I'll go over quickly. It is compatible with lithium and nickel metal hydride batteries. It's not compatible with NiCad. It's not compatible with some of the like lithium polymer batteries. This really isn't a concern. NiCad isn't being used today and is really a old technology. It just really isn't used for many applications. If you need a charger for that, get something else. But this is really a cutting edge charger for today's market, which is nickel metal hydride and lithium batteries. I've seen some people online complain that you can't charge alkalines in this. Alkalines really aren't designed to be recharged anyways. Each channel is independent, and I'll go into more of that here in a minute. It does charge in TC, CC, and CV. And those are three different variety or ways to charge batteries. Each chemistry of battery prefers a different charge type. And also, if your cells are really lowly discharged, sometimes using one of the others, you get a charge faster and better revive those cells. Fortunately, this feature is automatic and you really don't have to manually know that or know that much about it. The manual does explain a little bit, and you can also read more online about what those mean. This means it's automatically cuts off when the battery is fully charged. This is just a safety feature. With lithium batteries, you don't want to trickle charge them at the top. You want to charge them up and stop. And this does that, allows you to have a safe charge. The LCD is one of the reasons why I really bought this light. It's really a nice LCD. It shows charge put into the battery, how fast it's charging, what your peak charge is going to be. And I'll go into more of that when you see it. Charger claims it can wake up a battery when it's at 0 volts. I unfortunately don't have any batteries to try this on. It's not always great for the battery health when this happens and they go down to 0 health. So I'm a little skeptical on how that works. And in the future, I'll be testing that as batteries die. Reverse polarity protection. Really common sense there. In case you put a battery in backwards, it won't damage the charger or the battery. The case is made in fireproof ABS plastic, and it identifies the power input. So on this side, you can see all the different size batteries that it can fit, and you can really see it's a lot. And on the back, you have more information, cutoff voltage, input voltage, all this types of stuff. Included with the charger is this nice bag. It's almost a rubbery material. The charger fits in there nicely. And I think the other reason why they included the bag is how this charger has input power. And this is probably the most controversial thing about this charger. This charger does not use a standard micro USB input or have a wall input. It just has this barrel connector. And here's the cable it came with. It's a nice USB cable. It's pretty thick casing and everything. I think the reason Xtar did this, included this cable and this type of barrel connector, is so that you'd use a quality USB cable. As you know from charging your phone, the quality of the wire you use means a lot. It's one of the factors that determines how fast it charges. By making a barrel connector, Xtar guarantees you use their cable or have to purchase a different one that's of similar quality, and you'll have a good experience charging. A brief few words why I upgraded to the Xtar charger. This is my first lithium charger, and it's a Nikkor charger. This is an older model, and you can see there the reason I upgraded is it only charges at half an amp. And for an 18650, that is pretty slow. It's very safe, but it's pretty slow. It's only 2 cell capacity, so these high capacity batteries, it just took forever to charge. I originally upgraded this Nikkor SC2 charger then, and while I liked this charger, it had a few problems. First and foremost, the display I thought was lacking. It just didn't tell me all the information I wanted to know. It didn't tell me how much power I'd put in, where exactly the batteries were at, how long they'd been charging, anything like that. The other thing I didn't like about it was that I don't think it gets batteries 100% full up to complete 4.2 volts reliably for your 18650s. I could always put them in my SC2 charger there, and they'd always take more power. So that's just something I didn't really like about the SC2. I got to reading online that some people didn't like this charger either. They thought it just wasn't as good as some of the other Nikkors. I think it's still safe and it's still okay to use if you have one, but there are better on the market. One thing to note here is the VC4 does not come with a AC adapter. With its USB, you can plug it into a variety of chargers. You can plug it into a power bank like this one. This will output at 2.1 amps, so it would charge at full capacity, which you could use just fine. Or you can use a wall wart like this one. This is actually from an HP touchpad. As many of you know, it was a failed tablet by HP, but these power adapters were really good. This one outputs at 2 amps. And is a pretty good choice to use. I've been able to charge all 4 cells at full capacity. So let me insert a few batteries and show you how this thing works. So in my opinion, you really should use these 2 cells for your largest capacity batteries because they can charge the fastest. So I've got an Olight 18650 here that's discharged and needs charged. And I insert it into cell 1, and it goes through a initialization procedure here. So what I've done here is I've inserted 2 batteries, two 18650s into the 2 1 amp slots. So as you can see, they're both charging at 1 amps. And if I bring my meter up here, let's see if I can focus. You can see this meter is showing it's pulling 9.49 watts at 1.72 amps. And I think part of that might be my meter here, just I don't know how quite accurate that is. But you can see the count on the meter. You can see the display here, and I'm trying to get it to show with my lights. You can see it shows how much power is put into each cell, what rate it's charging at. You can see what chemistry the batteries are, and you can see what how much voltage the batteries are currently at. So both are testing around 3.5 volts, and it will charge them to 4.2. This outside display changes when you insert different styles of different chemistries of batteries to different voltage. So these middle 2 slots charge at half a amp maximum, and they're kind of your control slots. So I can put in a different type of battery. Here I've got a Keep Power 14500, and if I put that in, these 2 slots will now charge at half an amp each, and this one will charge at 1 amp for a combined total of 2 amp output. You can see you've got red LEDs and a green LED when it's not charging. And you can see this changed now to channel 2. There we go, channel 2. And you can see that it's being detected also as a lithium ion, and this is of nearly a full battery. So it's just going through the sequence to top it up, and you can see it's at 4.2 volts. So if I take that out and instead insert a nickel metal hydride in loop in that slot, Here we go. It's detected the battery already, and it's changed to nickel metal hydride. You can see it's testing where it's at still, but the display's changed to 1.55 volts, which is its charging capacity, and you can see it's a little bit below 1.45 volts, so it'll have to bring it up to finish its charge. You just hit that mode button like I did there, and it switches back to cell 1 and 4. You can long press it and shut the display off. And this is really nice, and it's not off. It looks off with this camera lighting, but it's very, very dim. This would be great if you wanted to charge while sleeping. I don't really recommend that, as you know from previous videos. Lithium batteries, when you're charging them, it's just best to be attentive and aware. It's not something I like to do. I like to be in the house, even in the same room if possible, just so I know that everything's safe and nothing's gone wrong. As you can see here, I'll put in another battery. This one happens to be a RCR123A. So I'm charging all four now. Now I'm charging all four cells at 0.5 amp. This isn't fast, but it's very safe. And I've learned that I'm okay with that trade-off, taking that safety over speed. I still have that Nikkor SC2 if I really need to charge a battery fast, say I'm going on a trip or something. And it works good for that. It'll charge at 2C. This will charge at 1C typically if just the two center channels are taken out and these outsides are going then. You can see it sped back up to 1 amp a piece. I was really impressed that this charger keeps everything cool. I don't have my infrared thermometer with me at the moment, but I really struggled, even after charging for an hour, to find anywhere on this where it was even hardly warm to the touch. To me, that's a really good sign. It just is an extra layer of safety. I typically charge my batteries on a piece of granite, just in case something does get hot or we have a runaway or something like that. It's just an extra layer of safety. However, with this charger, I don't really feel the need to do so. Overall, the Xtar VC4 charger I think is really impressive. For me, it does the job of charging safely, and really for two batteries, which is how I'll probably use it the most often, it's reasonably quick. I get the display information I want. I get the voltage, I get how much current's gone in, and I get the speed that they're charging at. And for me, that's really important. One thing about this charger, it takes a pretty demanding USB adapter for the wall. This is definitely something you want to buy a good charger, and not the cheapest one you find or one you find at a gas station. This is something like you'd want to use for your mobile phone, just something that is a high quality charger. If you do have charging speed problems, first thing I would do is look at your charger, make sure it has the output, and make sure that output is true. Try a different one if it doesn't work very well. Under full load, all four cells charging, it really does put a pretty big demand on most chargers. I recommend this charger without a doubt. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and thanks for watching.